Okay, they had Cash Money versus No Limit on the verses. And I would just say it was good to see Master P and Baby and Cash Money and No Limit on the same stage. But throughout all of the nonsense, when you really look at it, this was very kind of awful, because it was good to see them on stage, and if you talk about like a win or a loss, I don't look at it as a win and a loss because it wasn't kind of no competition when you look at it, because Cash Money had Baby, BG, Juvenile, and Manny Fresh. And Maya X and Master P alone had better energy. Like, sometimes I really don't know what's going on with Baby, but it's to the point where people get offended when you tell grown people they need to grow up. And this is why I say that a lot of black people will not grow in the entertainment business. Because if you think you're going to keep on bringing street stuff to business things, you're never going to prevail. And you're going to always fail. And you're going to always fall into the same trap they want you to fall into and that you want yourself to fall into. Because when we dive deep into it, big shout out to C Murder and Mystical. That's in jail right now, but Lil Wayne ain't show up because of drama. Him and Baby. Turk ain't show up because of drama. And Nicki Minaj and Drake don't really have to show it because those are Lil Wayne artists. But if Lil Wayne was there, they would have possibly been there. But this is what I always say about the rap game of dirty business. BGU was on stage with Birdman, but it had a time where you was mad at Birdman because of money business. Lil Wayne sued Birdman, the one that he called his daddy all these years, to show you when you get into this game, don't matter about the friendships. Don't matter, because Baby and Lil Wayne talk about they so close, right? But if you had a versus with New Orleans artists and two labels, Lil Wayne was supposed to be on that stage last night. Turk was supposed to be on that stage last night. They are part of something you call Cash Money, the Hot Boys. And I'm going to say that if Cash Money Records wouldn't be nothing without Lil Wayne. Y'all could talk all of this nonsense about Baby and his brother is smart and this and that. Yeah, they were smart enough, but Lil Wayne was the cash cow for years when all of these other men was older than him, and Juvie was doing the best, because Other than Lil Wayne, Juvenile is the other best talented artist they ever had on Cash Money. And as you see last night, it was like Juvenile versus No Limit when you really think about it. Because Birdman is not a rapper. Mannie Fresh is a beat maker. BG, God help me. He may be good on the mixtapes, BG, back then in New Orleans, back in the days, but I ain't saying you fell off, but you don't got the drive like you used to have. You know, but his verses wasn't too much, wasn't too good. You know, shout out to Maya X, you know, only female on the stage yesterday performing both of these groups. It'd have been cool to see Nicki on the stage for Cash Money, but as I say, dirty business. That's what we get. Birdman need to grow up though too. Cause what I was telling my boy yesterday, no matter how people twist it and turn it, Juvenile is probably the oldest one on the Hot Boys. Lil Wayne was the youngest, but they all was still young. When you turned that into a group, the Hot Boys. And I just think sometimes all the problems that Cash Money had over the years, Birdman should be wise enough to sit down and have a conversation with these young boys. Because they looked up to you growing up when they ain't had nothing coming out of New Orleans. This is why I always say we gotta stop treating each other bad and tearing each other down. Before it was a Juvenile, a Turk, a BG, or a Lil Wayne. It was regular folks growing up in New Orleans. You know, they got a record deal, contract, turned them into the Hot Boys. Could have been better on stage yesterday. Mystical in jail now. And to be honest, if he was there, it would have been crazy as well. Just as if Lil Wayne or Drake was there, or even C Murder. It'd have been crazy. But you still respect just to see both of them on stage after all these years. You know, you hope to see the next verses, whatever they do, that they do proper business. Thank you for everybody that joined this live. God bless.